type of man I'm talking about. The quiet ones, the ones who don't post about what they do, don't need the credit, don't need the applause. Billy was one of those men, a 34 years old handsome in that understated way, the kind of man you'd walk past and not notice until you did, and then you couldn't stop. He worked nights, security officer, a long and lonely shifts walking empty corridors while the rest of the world slept. His job is not glamorous, not exciting, but Billy never complained because at the end of every shift he was going home to her, Natasha. Natasha, a 31 beautiful sharp woman who worked customer service for an energy company. And if you've ever worked a job like that, you already know that you spend your whole day absorbing other people's anger, a job where people screaming at you about bills you didn't create, problems you didn't cause, blaming you for things completely out of your hands. Day after day after day, she'd come home drained and empty, and Billy saw that he saw all of it. So he made a decision quietly, without announcement, that she would never have to carry anything else. So he paid the rent every month without fail. He paid the gas, electric, insurance, and the holidays they took twice a year so she could finally exhale. All of it on him, while Natasha paid for groceries, and that was it. Billy had two close friends, Ian and Mark. Mark was an electrician, married with 2 kids and a straightforward guy. Ian was a social worker, a calm and always talking about helping families stay together. Ian used to come round sometimes when Billy was on shift. Natasha said it was nothing, just company from a family friend, and Billy didn't question it because why would he? Ian was his friend. Then one Tuesday night, nothing special about it, Billy started his shift at 7 p.m. He was meant to finish at 7 a.m., but around 10:30 p.m. he started feeling strange, feeling lightheaded, a bit of nauseous, like his body was shutting down. His supervisor looked at him and said, "Billy, go home, you look awful." So he left at 11 p.m., 4 hours early. He didn't know that decision would end his marriage. On the drive home, he even smiled and thought, maybe she's still awake. Maybe they'll sit together for a bit. Maybe he'll surprise her. He considered stopping to grab her favourite chocolate, but he felt weak, so he just drove home. The street was quiet and cold, so he unlocked the front door gently because he didn't want to wake her. He gently took his shoes off and hung his jacket. The house felt normal, too normal, and their bedroom door was closed. That wasn't unusual, so he pushed it open softly, and for a second, his brain refused to understand what he was seeing. There were 2 bodies in the bed. One of them moved. Ian sat up, but Natasha gasped, and Billy just stood there, not shouting, not moving, but just staring. You know when your ears start ringing and everything feels distant? That's what happened. Ian tried to speak. Billy didn't even look at him at first. He looked at Natasha, the woman he was saving a house for, the woman he worked overtime for, the woman he spoiled. His voice cracked. "In my house?" 3 words. That's all he said, and then something inside him shut off. Ian scrambled out of the bed while Natasha was crying, saying, "It's not what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like. Billy didn't shout. That's the part that hurt the most. He just turned around and walked out of the bedroom, walked out of the house, got into his car, and sat there. Hands on the steering wheel, he was breathing hard. That's when it hit him that all the extra shifts, the missed sleep, the savings, every sacrifice, he wasn't building a future, but he was funding his own betrayal. He drove to Mark's house. It was almost midnight, but Mark opened the door. He saw Billy's face and didn't even ask questions. He stepped aside and said, "Come in." Billy sat on the sofa and stared at the wall. Mark waited. After 5 minutes, Billy finally said it. "I found them." That's when his voice broke. He wasn't angry, but he was confused. How long? He kept asking, how long have I been the fool? The betrayal wasn't just Natasha, but it was Ian, his friend, the man who stood next to him at his wedding, the man who'd eaten at his table, and that cut deeper. Natasha called him 17 times that night. He didn't answer. She texted, "Please come home. We need to talk." It meant nothing. But here's the thing, it always means something. Billy didn't sleep. He just stared at the ceiling in Mark's spare room. And for the first time in years, he felt small, not because he wasn't enough, but because he realized love doesn't protect you from betrayal. In the morning, he made a decision, not emotional, not reactive, clear. He was done. Billy went back home the next day while Natasha was at work. He packed his clothes, left the key on the kitchen counter, and he withdrew every penny he'd put away in the house savings account. He transferred it into his own account. He wasn't going to fund a life that didn't exist. When Natasha came home, he was gone. No shouting, no revenge, just silence. It was a different kind of strength. Ian lost a friend that day. Natasha lost a husband who would have moved mountains for her and Billy. He didn't lose himself. He started rebuilding. He is more careful, more aware, and still kind, but he is no longer blind. Because sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is the thing that saves you from a lifetime of living a lie.